Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and to the final installment in my video essay on Anakin and Luke's reflective character arcs. Just to recap, in episodes 1 and 4 we saw how their journeys begin in very similar ways, such as growing up on Tatooine and being given the opportunity to achieve their dreams. Also where their lies developed. In episodes 2 and 5 we saw how their lies were doing them more harm than good, and what happens when they meet reality, coming out of it with a different worldview. And now, in episodes 3 and 6 we get to see how the lessons they've learned are challenged once again. Will they come out of it as better people, or fall back onto their lie? Let's begin. These are the movies where the two characters go through an existential crisis. After the events of Clones and Empire, Anakin and Luke come out of it with their beliefs shaken. Their lies have been challenged, and now they're beginning Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi at a crossroads. When we first see Luke, he's wearing all black, much like a Sith, even using some dark side moves, like when he chokes the guards. He's basically acting like Vader, but he's also showing patience and empathy towards his enemies, constantly trying to negotiate with Jabba and being patient when it comes to enacting his plan. So here we can see that Luke is in conflict with himself. After finding out the truth about his father, he now understands how seductive the dark side can be, and even he is susceptible to its power. But a part of him is still holding on to that lie that might makes right, which we see when he enters the palace and is acting similarly to Vader. When he goes to Yoda seeking guidance, he's told that to resolve this conflict, he must confront Vader. Vader has now become Luke's ghost, his dark reflection that he must face once again. Only this time he has more of an understanding of himself and of Vader. While before he saw Vader as the epitome of evil, he now sees as a man that he relates to on so many levels. So when Luke and Vader finally meet in this movie, it's not an epic rematch. Yet. It's instead a plea from a son to his father to let go of his anger. Luke is no longer fighting for his own glory, but for Anakin's soul. That is until he meets a certain someone.
Welcome, young Skywalker.
In the first video, I said that Luke's want was to become a Jedi and to save as many people as possible. In the Emperor's throne room, Palpatine attempts to do to Luke what he did to Vader. He tries to appeal to his want and to his lie, to give in to his anger and strike his enemy down. He does this by showing Luke just how screwed his friends really are. Han, Leia and Chewie are captured by the Empire, Lando and the Rebel fleet are ambushed by an Imperial armada, and then...
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
Oh shit. He makes Luke feel absolutely powerless. All of his friends are going to die and he can't do anything to stop it. Except for... Luke and Vader face off once again, only this time Luke has the advantage over Vader. He's grown stronger since their last fight, but he's also trying to reel himself back and make peace with his father. This is the moment where Luke must resolve his conflict, his fate. And the fate of the Jedi will depend on the outcome of this duel. You could say it's a real duel of the fates. But like I said, Luke is still susceptible to the dark side, and gives into his anger again once Vader threatens to turn his sister Leia to the dark side, if he doesn't. Oh, by the way, Luke and Leia are related. He attacks his father in a wild outburst, resulting in Luke chopping off Vader's hand and standing over his weakened body, ready to deliver the final blow, with the devil himself telling him to do it, to give in to his anger and strike down this unarmed opponent. Why does this look familiar? Oh right! In the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, Anakin confronts Dooku once again. He fights alongside Obi-Wan, who is rendered injured and unconscious during the fight, causing Anakin to attack Dooku in anger. This time, Anakin wins. He cuts off Dooku's hands and stands over him ready to deliver the final blow, with the devil himself telling him to do it. Just like Luke, he must decide whether to follow through or not. It's just that this moment's at the beginning of the movie rather than the end. Movies are structured this way because whilst this is the climax to Luke's character arc, it's more of a turning point for Anakin's. Revenge of the Sith is more about the consequences of a decision he makes here. Luke decides not to kill Vader because he's reminded of how similar they are, and he sees that Vader is what he will become if he chooses to indulge his anger and fear too much, resulting in him discarding his lightsaber in protest and declaring himself a Jedi. He has chosen his path. Anakin, on the other hand, despite being conflicted on his decision, listens to Palpatine, gives in to his anger, and cuts down Dooku. Anakin's lie has become so strong that when push comes to shove, he will forego everything the Jedi have taught him and go completely with his heart. Like Luke, Anakin is in conflict. In the last movie, he gave in to his lie, but now he's struggling with the consequences of doing so. And there's Palpatine again comforting him, telling him that what he did was right and justified, still appealing to his want, much like how he did in Attack of the Clones, and how he's going to in Return of the Jedi. After saving the Chancellor and landing on Coruscant, Anakin is then hit with the news that he's going to be a dad. But sadly, he's hit soon after with visions of Padme dying in childbirth, similar to the visions he had of his mother dying, something he is desperate not to repeat. His want to save the ones he loves kicks in hard and leads him down a path to seek greater power, the only way to stop Padme dying, just like his mother. At first, he turns to Yoda for guidance, but is simply told that he must learn to let go, something that his lie will simply not allow. While this is going on, Anakin's loyalties to both the Chancellor and the Jedi Order become even more strained. On one hand, we have Palpatine, who is still playing to Anakin's want, and does this by giving him the thing he craves. He makes Anakin his personal representative on the Jedi Council, he pushes for Anakin to lead the campaign to fight General Grievous, and he even gives him a little history lesson. The scene starts off with Palpatine comparing the Jedi and the Sith, how they both crave power and are afraid to lose it, playing more onto Anakin's conflicting feelings at the Council. But then, Palpatine plays his trump card.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
The tragedy of Darth Plagueis is Palpatine's key to winning over Anakin's soul. He's given Anakin hope that he can succeed where he once failed, and if the Jedi won't give him the answers he seeks, perhaps the dark side can. Now Anakin is completely trusting of Palpatine. He's the only one giving him the answers he desperately craves. But all of this clashes with the Jedi, the ones trying to appeal to his need. Mace Windu doesn't grant Anakin the rank of Master, which Anakin is less than happy about.
How can you be on the Council and not be a master?
They don't let him lead the campaign against Grievous, instead giving it to Obi-Wan. Now, while Anakin does need to learn patience, and the Jedi are trying to teach him that, they are still quite cold to him, dismissing his protests like nothing and talking down to him like an underling, which doesn't do them any favors, strengthening the lie that he's developed since Attack of the Clones, that the Jedi are envious of his power and are willingly holding him back. But the thing that really shakes his belief in the Jedi is when they ask him to spy on the Chancellor, asking him to commit treason and betray someone simply because he's obligated to. All these things act to push Anakin further away from the Jedi and closer to Palpatine. Later on in the movie, when Palpatine feels confident with the hold he has over Anakin, he reveals to him who he truly is, Darth Sidious. Throwing everything on the table, he preaches to Anakin that he can give him the power to save Padme, and that the Jedi will never help him with it. This is where Anakin's fate will truly be tested. He's reminded of his commitment as a Jedi and informs Windu of Palpatine's true nature, and seems content to just let Windu do his thing. But Anakin's lie is still strong, and he can't shake the feeling that if he lets Windu arrest Palpatine, that he will have thrown away his only chance to save his wife. His lie gets the better of him, and he rushes to the Senate building only to find Windu standing over a defenseless Palpatine, lightsaber at the ready. He has no idea what's happened earlier with Palpatine brutally cutting down all the other Jedi. All he sees is his superior ready to attack a defenseless opponent who has been fighting for Anakin's soul. Why does this sound so familiar? Oh right, Return of the Jedi. As soon as Palpatine realizes that he can't turn Luke to the dark side, he decides to just kill him. And while this is going on, Vader is watching Luke, who begs for his father's help, seeing his superior try to destroy the last of his family that he has left, and the one person who has shown him true kindness in a long time. In that moment, he turns against his master, who has mistreated him for years, throwing him down a shaft and saving his son. Luke has helped to redeem his father, and Anakin Skywalker is reborn. While in Revenge of the Sith, the exact same scenario happens, only with Windu framed as the antagonist and Palpatine the victim. Windu is about to deliver the final blow, proving to Anakin he is simply about obtaining power, not giving Palpatine a fair trial, but seizing control of the Republic. And in that moment of anger and desperation, Anakin retaliates, turning against the Master who has mistreated him for years. Anakin has now fully given into his lie. He has sacrificed his principles for his own desires. He takes a knee and pledges himself to Palpatine. Anakin is dead, and Vader is born. It's fitting that the two scenes that depict the rise and fall of Vader reflect each other almost perfectly. That is poetry. After that, Palpatine's plans for complete control over the Republic and the annihilation of the Jedi have now come to fruition. Anakin goes on a violent rampage to tear down the Jedi Order and the Separatists on Mustafar. He has sold his soul to the devil and is now in hell. Padme, after hearing what Anakin has done, meets him on Mustafar and is shocked and disgusted by what he has become. And to make matters worse, Anakin sees Obi-Wan aboard her ship and accuses her of betraying him and begins to choke her. His lie is solely about achieving power, and now it has consumed him. He now sees the woman he loves as someone trying to prevent him from power, killing the very reason he did all of this in the first place. Anakin then duels his former friend and master Obi-Wan on Mustafar, and while the fight is crazy, it ends with Anakin losing the rest of his limbs and being burned alive, literally burning away any last remnants of Anakin Skywalker. His lie has led him down a path to achieve everything he wanted, but he has ended with nothing. After this, Palpatine rescues what remains of Vader, brings him to Coruscant, gives him his new prosthetic limbs and a menacing suit to survive in. He is now back to the role of slave, only this time he put the chains on himself. It's very fitting that in the end of Return of the Jedi, Vader demands for the helmet to be removed, showing he is now free of his slavery to Palpatine, and proud of his son who made all the right choices, where in the past he made all the wrong ones. Both movies end with the main characters being in completely different places. Luke, having shed his lie, redeems his father and joins his friends and family, learning that power isn't everything and that he can't control the fate of everything and everyone, while Anakin becomes consumed by his lie and unwillingness to let go of things out of his control, and as a result is damned to a constant state of suffering. Star Wars is many things to many people. A cool space adventure, a western, a samurai flick, a critique of organized religions, or to some people, crap. But from this lens, we can see that it's a tale of how easy it is to fall prey to selfishness and base desire, but through patience and understanding, can you truly find what you're looking for. Hey guys, thank you for watching part 3 of my study on Anakin and Luke's reflective character arcs. There are links to the first two in the description in case you missed them. Please leave a like a true Jedi would. Feel free to subscribe if you like this content, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day.